Peace. It's been a long time since I've been able to do a video, but I am glad to be back in the saddle. I've been quite busy over the past 3 years actually. I went back to school in 2012 to finish my undergrad degree in journalism. This was my second go around. I first graduated from high school in 1995. I went to college on a full athletic scholarship, and when I got there, instead of majoring in something that had to do with education, I majored in smoking weed, drinking 40s, chasing women, and quite a few other things that I won't get into. So needless to say, after 4 years of playing football and exhausting my scholarship and my eligibility, I left with nothing. I eventually dropped out of school in 1999, and you could say I kind of wandered through the wilderness after that. I eventually ended up moving down here to Texas, and it was not until 10 years after being down here that I finally went back to school. You know, it always bothered me, not so much because I think college education makes you anything, or this desire to be a part of the so-called upward mobile. It was just a thing of not finishing something that I started. And I really knew I disappointed my parents, especially my mother, because I basically went to school and squandered, you know, free education. So I went back in 2012, pursued the same major that I had began, you know, 17 years earlier. And I finally finished in May, this past May, with a Bachelor's of Arts in Journalism. And in one of my classes, you know, on the first day, professor asked, everybody had to go around the room and introduce themselves, and they wanted everybody to kind of say what they wanted to do or what they wanted to be or what job they saw themselves in. And what I said when they got to me was, I want to become the media. And that was it. So I didn't go back to school per se looking for a means to get a job. Like I said, I want to complete something and I finish. But now that I have finished, I'm getting ready to get busy. If nothing else, then producing content, but I am an avid writer. So I'm actually working on a book right now, and I think it's going to be pretty good work, and it's going to be something worth reading. As things progress later on down the line, I'll divulge what the book is actually going to primarily be about. But today I want to talk about alchemy, and I want to talk about the college graduation ceremony and the science of alchemy, how they are related, the esoteric meaning of the college graduation ceremony. You have to excuse that noise, that's the air conditioning, because I can't sit in here if out in the air and record this. I'll probably pass out. It is hot down here in the state of Texas. But anyway, what is alchemy? Alchemy is the royal art of Egypt or Kemet. Alchemy is what Freemasonry is truly based on. It is the science of taking something old, something ancient, something that is primal, and then transmutating or transferring that into something new. Now, people like to just relegate alchemy to just turning lead to gold. That's just symbolic. It's not literally talking about, although they were adept at doing such things in ancient times, it is far deeper than turning some basic lead into gold. We're talking about taking an ancient substance and transforming it. And that is what Freemasonry is really about. And the ceremony of graduation, especially on the college level, is representative of the science of alchemy. Again, this comes out of ancient Kemet as in Egypt. And the primal substance, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty when you're talking about alchemy, is really melanin, the black substance, carbon. So what's going on with alchemy is, one, let's just break down the word. Al is God, Chem, black God, or the black arts, black science. Because true science is spirituality, and true spirituality is the transference of some raw substance into God, or into the Kadesh, the anointed one. So when you go to the graduation ceremony, 99.9% of the people there don't know actually what's going on. And especially for black people, graduation for a lot of us is just saying that, hey, I've made it into the upward mobile now. I can go and get a job, I can get some 401k, I can get me a car, I can move out of my mama's house, all these different things. But they don't know that it's a very powerful ceremony, because you're going through an initiation. In typical Freemasonry, there are 32 degrees, and then finally you arise to the 33rd and the 3rd degree Mason. Well, in a typical 4-year degree, you're going to go through 32 months of schooling. Typically a semester is 4 months. Typically there are 2 semesters in a year. You have your fall semester, spring semester. That's 8. You normally would go 4 years. 4 times 8 is 32. Based on ancient Kemet again. A bastardized version, but it still is based on that. When you go into the arena, when the ceremony begins, they come in with these flags, but they bring in what I'll call a scepter. I'm probably giving it the wrong name, but it is a symbol of Amun-Ra. Go online and look at any college graduation, and you'll see them there walk in the symbol of Amun-Ra, and that is a crescent moon with the sun. That is the symbol of masonry. That is the mason. It is the mother, Ma, M-A, giving birth to the son, S-O-N or S-U-N, Mason, mother and son, Mary, Jesus, Isis, Horus, Aset, Heru. And I must give credit to the late great C. Freeman L., because that's where I learned that from watching his videos. Profound. That is what that symbolizes. So they come in with that and they sit it up on the stage. Symbolizes the throne of Aset. Okay? So you're sitting there and you're wearing what's called a mortar board. Okay? Mortar board is just what a stonemason would carry mortar on, that they would wipe down on the brick. That's going to help the bricks stick together. It's the mortar. Well, when you graduate with your undergrad, you're basically being classified as an apprentice. And the apprentice takes the mortar board over to the artisan. Okay? This tassel symbolizes the handle. Alright? You're taking it over to the artisan. So at the end of the ceremony, they tell you to move your tassel from the right side which is symbolizing the right hand gives. So you're moving from the right and now to the left. The left accepts. This is the artisan accepting your petition to be an apprentice. I'm sorry. Now, you noticed also when I move this tassel, I move through two 90-degree angles. One, that's 90, second 90. So I went straight across, so that's 180 degrees. So this is the knowledge that you supposedly have as an apprentice when you gain your 4-year degree. See, that's 180 degrees, straight across. That's the purpose of this. You're also wearing a black robe. Black robe. Now, why a black robe? Why does the judge wear the black robe? It is all based again on ancient Kemet. The judgment scene of Amenta. Osiris is the god of the perfect black. I'm going to read you something out of Budge's Book of the Dead here, just to kind of help to shape our discussion. This is the Book of the Dead by E. Wallace Budge. Okay, and this is from the section on the Papyrus of Ani. And it says that Typhon plotted with 72 comrades, that's the 72 chakras on the pineal gland, and with Aso, the queen of Ethiopia, to slay him, talking about Osiris, and secretly got the measure of the body of Osiris and made ready a fair chest, which was brought into this banqueting hall when Osiris was present together with other guests. By a ruse, Osiris was induced to lie down in the chest, which was immediately closed by Typhon and his fellow conspirators, who conveyed it to the Tanaitic mouth of the Nile. These things happened on the 17th day of the month of Hathor, when Osiris was in the 28th year, either of his reign or of his age. The first to know of what had happened were the Pans and Satyrs, who dwelt hard in Panopolis. And finally the news was brought to Isis at Coptus, whereupon she cut off a lock of hair and put on mourning apparel. She then set out in deep grief to find her husband's body, and in the course of her wanderings she discovered that Osiris had been united with her sister Nephthys, and that Anubis, the offspring of the union, had been exposed by his mother as soon as born. Isis tracked him by the help of dogs and bred him up to be her guard and attendant. Now, as the story goes on, she would go to Byblos and she would find the chest that had Osiris' body in it. That chest had been buried inside of a tree, and that tree is called the Byblos. Oh, I'm sorry, the tamarisk tree. But it's located in Byblos. Now, what does that mean? Osiris represents your subconscious mind or your soul. The chest is this body. This is a tomb, okay? But it also represents the womb. The tomb and the womb are the same thing, because there's no such thing as death. Death is just a process of regeneration. So when you put on this black gown at graduation, it's your initiation. You are going back into the chest of Osiris, or the tomb, so that you can be resurrected and reborn through the womb. Because we know that as the story went along, Osiris was recovered, but then Set found his body again and cut him up. Osiris put him back Isis put him back together. And then from her putting him back together, she transformed herself into a bird, flapped her wings above where his phallus was supposed to be, and through immaculate conception, Horus was born. The sun was born. So Osiris was resurrected through his son, Horus. So when you go to the graduation ceremony and you put on that black gown, you are going back into the tomb or the chest of Osiris or the womb of Isis to be reborn as the sun is reborn every morning. Also with the mortarboard, it symbolizes the sun traveling through its journey each day. The sun rises in the east and it travels to the west. When you ascend to the stage, you go up on the left side of the stage. Again, left is for reception. The left also represents the moon. But what receives on the physical realm? The womb, the female, it's feminine. So you go up on the left to symbolize that you are receiving knowledge. You exit on the right, which is the sun, so that now you can go out and shine as the light is nothing but a reflection of the darkness. The darkness is the actual subconscious or the essence, and the light is what shines from the essence. So as you exit on the right stage, you are now going out into the world with a light that you can shine. And that symbolizes a form of alchemy, because you go into the university. This is, and mind you, all of us who are awake and aware, we know that the university, it's a game. They have you take a bunch of classes that you don't need to take. They don't teach you really how to critically think. It's set up to get you in debt so that you can become a debt slave and a consumer who's attached to the system. We know all of that, but I'm talking about just the behind the scenes, what it symbolizes and where it came from. And the great thing about my journey of going back to school and graduating at 38 years old is that I know thyself. I know myself. Man, know thyself. So I'm not the same idiot that went to school at 18. It was a true initiation for me, because I've been going through hell financially and all types of things. But in the midst, I have not just been doing the little BS work. Busy work is what I call college. I've been doing deep studies on my own that I'm not required to do because I want to do. I've amassed a library that I'm very proud of, and it's still growing. And I'm still seeking information. So it was a very important ceremony for me, because I felt like it was an initiation to another level personally. Nothing to do with that little degree, or nothing to do with trying to become part of the upward mobile, anything like that. It was a personal thing. And I knew what it meant when I put on that black robe. That personally, I was going through transmutation, that Jamal was about to become something, a new creature. So, esoteric meaning of graduation, alchemy. Stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping a lot of videos, and to all of you subscribers, old and new, thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. This is where a good bit of information can be found. Peace.